Enoch Burke was produced from Mountjoy Prison to the office of the Supreme Court here in Dublin this morning to file an application for leave to appeal to the Supreme Court regarding his case. This appeal is specifically about conflicting judgments in the Court of Appeal regarding Enoch Burke's case. In March 2023, Mr. Justice John Edwards stated that there was no evidence whatever that Enoch Burke was being disciplined because of his views on transgenderism or because he objected to the principal's instruction to call a child by a new name and the they pronoun. Now, Mr. Justice George Birmingham, the then president of the court, and Miss Justice Moira Whelan agreed with Mr. Justice John Edwards in that finding. They were then the three most senior judges of the Court of Appeal. Moira Whelan is the person who got appointed to the Court of Appeal in 2017 amid huge controversy. All procedures were bypassed. She sat at the cabinet table when her own candidacy was being discussed and considered by the government. There was furore in Dáil Éireann. Every major politician disagreed with what had happened, but she got in the back door, notwithstanding all of that. Now, almost 2.5 years later, in July 2025, three other judges of the Court of Appeal, considering the same factual issue, i.e. the basis for the disciplinary action against Enoch Burke, came to a completely different conclusion regarding that question. They found that the fact of his objection to the principal's instruction and the substance of that objection, i.e. his views on transgenderism, were factors and were central factors to the disciplinary proceedings against him. And in fact, the Court of Appeal found that any reasonable reader of the principal's disciplinary report would understand that the principal's overarching complaint against Enoch Burke was his refusal to comply with her instruction. However, there was an unwillingness on the part of the second Court of Appeal to acknowledge that the findings of the first Court of Appeal were wrong or to acknowledge that it had departed from them. As matters currently stand, therefore, there are two judgments of the Court of Appeal extant with diametrically opposite findings on a most serious aspect of the disciplinary process, i.e. what is the basis for the disciplinary action against Enoch Burke. The disciplinary appeal panel has scheduled a hearing for Saturday the 13th of December next. Now, it would be unfair and highly unreasonable for the disciplinary appeal panel hearing to take place, to go ahead on that date, without this issue being first clarified by the Supreme Court. And that is why Enoch Burke was produced here today from Mountjoy Prison to the office of the Supreme Court to file that application today.